and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Tishim Claire Gasmagera. Today we're going to discuss why it's so hard to date men who are living with HIV. I know that's the discussion of ladies, why it is so hard. Especially me after failing a 6-year relationship, I'm saying the same thing, why it's so hard. Well, today we're going to go deep and discover why it's so hard to date heterosexual men living with HIV. Let's face it, we are meeting total strangers. In the time of my grandmother, people dated people from their next farm or whatever, and they knew each other. They shared values, they shared the culture, they shared languages. In the time of my mother, they go to club, to school, they would dance, disco, dun, dun, dun. I'm a child of the 80s, so I was born out of the disco, din, din, din. And they would meet people. But still, it was a very close community, so they could have some sort of accountability. Now, fast forward, we are people living with HIV. The invisible virus inside our blood define who we should date. We can't just go to the next farm or the disco and grab somebody and go home. No, it doesn't work like that. We have criminalization laws, whatever. So, majority of us, we go online dating. And online dating is like being in a big stadium and being asked to choose from 6,000 in a stadium, in a football stadium. It's so hard. And we are meeting total strangers, the people we don't know, people. It's so difficult to match. Some people think more choices is better, but more choices is not better because it makes us confused. And most likely we will meet the wrong person because the choices are so good. Big, tall, short, black, white, yellow, green, That's not how dating was designed to be. Dating was designed to be like a covenant between families. It was not designed to be, I'm in Kenya, I'm in love with somebody in Australia, I fly there. Don't get me wrong, those relationships are successful, but that's not how it was designed. This is an evolution from 2000 with the arrival of the internet. That's why it's so hard today to find, to date men living with HIV. Number 2, we are a dysfunctional society. I will keep saying this. 20% of the population is healthy, mentally healthy. 20% they are clinically, mentally ill. 40%, majority, including me, we are dysfunctional. So no wonder why we have so many problems. Because we are meeting dysfunctional men. Majority, 40% of the time we are meeting dysfunctional men. So if it's a rotely, the odds of getting a healthy man are 20%. The odds of getting a clinically ill man is 20%, and the odds for getting a dysfunctional man are 40. You do the math, so you know who the majority of men we are meeting are dysfunctional. And they need healing, they need to get in care. The dysfunctional men like me, they need to be in care, mental health care, they need support groups, they need to do some personal development work so they can be really aware about our limitation as dysfunctional people. Number 3, it's related to number 2, which is mental health. Men are the loneliest being on planet Earth. When I was still working in a corporate America, I remember whenever we changed my hairstyle, I would go to the third floor, to the fourth floor, to the 11th, the 15th, the 16th, just to greet my friends so they can say, okay, you have a nice hairstyle. Okay, we like that purse. We women, we get compliment all day long, but men, they never compliment. They rarely compliment each other, and they don't get compliment from us women. Men grow up asked to be tough. Men up. Men don't cry. You know, don't be a sissy. Don't be all those negative and toxic expectation from the community make men vulnerable to mental health illnesses. So the men we are meeting, they are holding so much from the past, from they don't have no place to vent. You will see them like it's like a big block of glass, but ready to break. So what now? Thanks God we have internet. For the first time, men are connecting on an emotional level behind the mobile device. So the men who living with HIV we're meeting are men who are dysfunctional with mental health problems, with the burden of living with HIV, which comes with the finances, health, mental health illnesses. And now, ladies, we are online therapists. So you would date a man online, he's telling you programs. So we better get a certification for being a therapist online. But that's what's happening. But in real life, they have no skills for relationship. They have no emotional health for relationship. And when we meet them online, it's so sweet. They're sharing their mom, their whatever happened, and you feel like you're bonding because, oh my God, that guy is being vulnerable to me. Oh, that's so sweet. But that's not what it means. It just means you're a therapist. For the first time, he's unpacking what's going on in his life. But that doesn't guarantee he has he's emotionally healthy. It doesn't guarantee you have relationship skills. It doesn't guarantee you have brandable lifestyle. It doesn't guarantee that he has the best interest at heart. So ladies, there's no such luck for a man to get laid by an online therapist. And that's what happened. Boom. And then you feel like, oh my God, this is a perfect relationship. No. Most men take online dating as a form of therapy. And ladies, you are becoming online therapists. That's why it's so difficult when you meet them in person, because you felt that you connected, but you connected with a person who was unpacking his past relationship and his past wounds. And the number 4 reason why it's hard to date men living with HIV is the impact of HIV on health, especially when we are aging. Yeah, I'm aging too. Yeah, I'm in a national minority AIDS aging population, even if I'm still in my 30s, but we are aging. We are living longer, but we are aging. And aging comes with some complication that are the factors from HIV, or that are just aging. Hello, we are aging. So those men we are dating online, they may be having difficulty in their health. And it's so difficult for those men to lean into a relationship when they don't feel healthy, sexy, and showing up. Hey, did you see me? They don't feel comfortable. So that's why it's so hard. It's like dragging them. It's like So, ladies and gentlemen, number 4, financial. HIV is something that HIV does to a family, to individuals, is hitting their pocket. I'm so blessed because I've been able to work in a place where I can get paid leave, paid hours to go to pick up my medicine, to appointment, and I was relatively healthy. But imagine if you have to go to 5 appointments for 5 doctors, and you don't have a paid leave, you don't have a vacation time. All of a sudden your income is hit. Imagine if you were on disability, you have a fixed income, or you don't even have an income because you can't work. So many stuff. So when the men living with HIV, not all of them, but the majority, they're struggling financially. So gold digger, don't look in the men living with HIV. They have problems, and together we can address those problems. Number 6, HIV stigma and discrimination. If there's something, women, we are open, as I said. I would get compliment. I call my friends and I cry on the phone. We talk about our problems, but men don't have that. It's not maybe the new generation, but older generation, it's not part of who they are to sit down and vent and talk about problems. They take in. So those men we are meeting, those men we want to date, they're dealing with an internal stigma. Or they're scared of stigma and discrimination. Or they have been rejected several times. Now they can't take it anymore. So that's why it's so hard to date men living with HIV. Number 7, HIV criminalization. That's the big elephant in the house. In the United States, it's a crime to even think having sex with somebody without disclosing you were diagnosed with HIV. So many people, and like me who is open, because I've been a child living with HIV all my life. It's not because I'm strong or I'm a giant woman. It's just because that's my story. It was out by the time I was 10. It was all over the place. So, but for other people living with HIV, especially men, they calculate who they tell their story. Because the minute the HIV diagnosis is a private health information. However, the minute they tell somebody they live with HIV, they no longer have control over how that information will be shared, when, how, what it will be used for. So most of the time men are scared. What if I got criminalized for HIV? So it's that disconnect, that feeling of feeling unsafe in this world as a person living with HIV, leave men to be so difficult to date. It's like squeezing a lemon, or milking thin information, or milking love from them, because it has been hardened by stigma, criminalization, health status, financial stability, mental health, mental health, and dysfunctional society. All those things boil down. That's why it's so difficult to date men living with HIV. I get this opportunity to call all heterosexual men living with HIV to join the Bow Tie movement. It's a movement that gives space to men to unpack all these issues. I've put a link for their Facebook page, and you should be able to unpack, to have a safe space to unpack all these issues we discussed, so it can be easy to date you. You, and you. We want to date you. We want to love you, but we want you to be healthy and easy to date. And the same work goes to us too. We're doing also the work so we can be perfect to date.